So always ready. Hey, how's it going? Hey everybody, this is Spectral Sailor. I'm doing an early broadcast today because I needed to accommodate a strange schedule because we have a guest that is you're from Wales, right?
Yeah, that's right, South Wales.
Okay, so she's from Wales and her time schedule is 6 hours ahead of ours. So I needed to kind of accommodate her schedule and I had to make sure that I wasn't going to be interfering with anybody's schedule. Me and Jason still will be on tonight at our normal time. So don't be alarmed. We'll still be on at 8 o'clock for anyone that can't make it right now. We have some comments coming in already, but this is Kayleigh Love, and she is from her business pages Love to Investigate. So everyone, welcome, Kayleigh.
Hi, everyone.
And we have hello from Holly, hello from Dawn. And I shared it on your page so that people can see it on your page, your Kayleigh Love page, and they can join if they want to, if they click on that.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That way you can have some of your friends in here if they are able to do it right now. I don't know what their schedules are like, but whatever. Thank you guys for sharing. Yeah, everybody share. And let's ask some questions to someone on the other side of the world that's in the paranormal field. Someone had hold on. Post your name. Someone's on the comments and it doesn't show their name. I'm just going to tell them. I had come across your stuff on Instagram, I think, on our Instagram. And I was like, hey, she looks kind of cool, like somebody, that reminds me of myself or whatever. And I started looking at your stuff and that you did like different tours and stuff like that and arrange or help put together different tours. And I was wanting to ask about that kind of stuff because some of the people on the Paranormal United Network, they put together tours. And we went to Waverly a little while back, not too long ago. And quite a few of us came, like 20 of us went to Waverly. And I was wanting to ask what it's like to put together tours there and like what, if you could explain some of the tours and some of the places and like maybe what they're known for or some upcoming events.
Yeah, what it is, we've had one load of events running from a haunted inn pub in Wales. We had a set amount of people, however, that they do range. The tours can be an overnight stay where the room is included along with the experience of ghost hunting. But we did originally launch the 2-hour event at the pub. Now, I did this because from where I'm from, ghost hunting and going out is not the norm and it can be sometimes frowned upon. Not a lot of people get involved with it here. So we wanted to see kind of what audience and what numbers of audience we had. So originally I set out to do the 2-hour event at the pub and the maximum group because of the COVID regulations was a group of 6 at the time. So we would welcome them, and I would say to people, if you haven't done this before, this 2-hour event would be the starting point for you, rather than invest a lot more money into the overnight ones, because they are more expensive. Come to this 2-hour event. It was £20 a person. Come for 2 hours and see really if it's for you, and if you can really handle the 2 hours, let alone an overnight experience. Because when I originally set out to go out and investigate the paranormal, I did my first ever one, and I was so taken back by everything that was happening. And it wasn't only until 2 days after my first ever investigation did I then start calming down. So I thought the best way to introduce people into this is the 2-hour event. Just to give people, just to give people a taster of what it can be like. So that's brilliant. And this place was known for a lot of activity in the basement, in particular. There wasn't, I wouldn't say, an evil spirit in there, but there was one of, he was just restless. I think he was trapped. He died in a way in which no justice came from it. And they were the sort of senses and feelings I was getting. So I thought, well, if anyone's brave enough, they can go into the basement. So they came, we ran 2 events there majorly just to see, and it took off very, very well. We haven't yet launched the overnight one. The first ever overnight event will be on Sunday, the 6th of June. So I can't really comment on the overnights yet because we're yet to launch them. But yeah, I've got high hopes for them. We've got quite a few people booked on with that now, and we're gonna do the overnight because this place is jam-packed with paranormal activity. So I can't wait.
That's really exciting. Are you excited about it?
I am excited about it. In all of our events, we provide people with the equipment. So we will provide people with the K2 meters, a set of dowsing rods if they'd like to give them a go. Not everybody likes to get involved with certain levels of equipment. As far as glass divination, we do a lot of that as well. And then the spirit box sessions with the headphones, and people can do that as a solo activity, as well as a group activity. So there are a lot of things to do throughout the night, as well as allowing people to go off on their own and do their own little investigation, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to open up the paranormal community to people who've probably never tried it before. And it's all about putting yourself in that element that really is out of your comfort zone. And that's what I like to help people try and achieve.
That's really awesome. That way they're getting their, like a little tiny, like they're sticking their toe in the water, but they don't have to actually jump in the water yet. Yeah, that's really neat.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what I like. I had just seen some of your things come up for your organized investigations, and I was like, oh, that would be cool to talk about, because I kind of got that from talking to Jared and from talking to Daniel, that most of the stuff that they do seems like it's done in abandoned places, or it's done in at residential places. It's not really done at places like you're organizing stuff to go and be done at. They haven't done a lot of that stuff, I don't think. So I was wondering and curious about when I saw yours. I can get that there's not a lot of that going on in the area that you're at, that not a lot of people are involved in that all the time.
No, that's actually really correct. It doesn't pick up to the level that I'd like to see it pick up at. But again, it's about baby steps. We will be filming a lot of the first events of the overnight, so people can have, again, an in-depth insight into what it is that we do and how we conduct our overnight events, how they run, and how they're made to feel comfortable, that they don't always need to take part in the activities if they don't want to. It's each to their own, really. And if they do get scared, and they do go running off, that there is no judgment. And I feel that as long as people reiterate that while trying to organise an event, is by first off, when it comes to the customers, whether it's your clients and people who want to come along, you really need to make sure that the first thing you do is just give advice and reassure them that if things don't go, because they may not know what to expect, isn't it? They may react differently to what they thought they were going to react. And as long as you reassure them that that's okay and that there is no judgment, and we all get scared from time to time, then that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we have a team, and the first place we actually ever did our first organized overnight investigation, we did a 2-night investigation at an asylum, and one of the guys that became our camera guy, after so many different places we had gone, he had gotten not really attacked, but the equipment had said his name, and then the next thing you knew, we had an SLS map out a stick figure that was next to him by his leg, and I don't even think we told him yet, and he felt something grab his leg, and he took off running down the hallway screaming like a girl. So I know what you're talking about when you get scared. And it was on video, and he was like, "Don't post that." And we were like, "Well, we're live. It's already posted. It's too late." But yeah, when people get scared and startled because they just start doing that stuff, after a while, I think that they start to learn enough about it. They're not as scared anymore. So it's cool that you're doing something like that, because you're kind of like making it more aware to people that might have already been interested in that, but they didn't really know what to do or what direction to go about it.
Yeah. It's all about the information. It's fun, but we are there to do one thing, and we're there to detect any form of paranormal activity and any presence and entity that may be there. So that, I think, what other people don't seem to realise as well when going into a ghost hunt experience, and it'd be anywhere in the world, is that patience is key. Because I think people don't realise you go there and stuff isn't going to be happening straight away. These things take time. It is tedious work sitting there, and you'll be sitting there waiting, watching, and just being as quiet as possible. People who go on an event, they don't know how to sit still and be quiet to find any evidence. So that's again something that I do try to tell everyone when they come. But again, it's not run in an abandoned location, mainly for health and safety purposes. But if it was me with a group of people that I knew and I could trust, I would take them with me to an abandoned location. That's fine. I could go to plenty of them. I've caught some of the best paranormal evidence in an abandoned mental asylum. So because of that, I really do. I love the abandoned locations that are steeped in natural history, rather than, yes, it's indoors, it is in a hotel, and people can come and stay there overnight. But I thought that people would prefer that, because a lot of them are travelling down from such a long way. They'd want, the room is there and they're all comfortable, aren't they? So that's another reason I wanted to do it, based in an overnight hotel. Yeah.
I think it does seem to work out that way best. Or even if you're going to a location such as like Waverly Hills or one of the prisons and stuff, if they don't have like a room set up where people can do things like that, then just finding like we're doing a big event in Salina, Kansas. Paranormal United Network is, and we're finding and getting and working with the people that run the temple. It's a Masonic temple. And they've got us hotels that are very close nearby and discount codes that we can use to stay there, so that we don't have to pay so much to travel to go there to help with the event.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing, isn't it? It's one. That's why I think that's one thing that when you start, when you become a paranormal investigator and you do have a team, it's the equipment that costs, the travel that costs, and again, any unexpected things that come along the way on the journey, because some places I travel to are a good 4 to 5 hours out of my way, which do require us to stay then away. So again, I think, if I was to give anyone advice wanting to do it, it's amazing to do, but you've got to take all these factors into consideration as well, isn't it? like you will know what I mean by that as well because of what you do. But yeah, the traveling is fun. It's lovely to be on the road with people you know. You're excited.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wait to turn up. You can't wait you're gonna catch. And the traveling is what really gets me excited. That's one of the best parts about it for me.
Since you've been doing this for a little bit and you've gone to several locations, do you ever gain insight or like a medium or psychic downloads as you're heading to a location before you get there?
So what I'll do a bit of history. So I will look online. I'll see what the location entails. What was the land? Even if the building doesn't have any haunted history, maybe the land maybe sits on a ley line. So I do look at the map and see along that as well. Just things that can be taken into consideration, or surrounding elements, like is there a graveyard near? Things that can influence anything that could be happening at this haunted location. So that is definitely one of the preparation that I do. Even from such a young age, I've been able to see, well, obviously this is where the curiosity led me to do what I do. Yeah. And I know a lot of people will have this in common with what I'm about to say. But overall, like, I will receive picture images in my mind, whether it'll be like a date, a name, maybe how old this person was. And I get that and I pick up on things like that and receive images to the forefront of my mind as I walk in places. I've had it all along, but I just didn't know how to concentrate on it, if that makes sense, because they do come so quick. They can be quite intrusive and they're very vivid. But I do get that, and it doesn't always happen, but it does sometimes happen throughout the investigation itself, even if it doesn't happen as soon as I walk in. But I try to use my dowsing rods then at some point of the night to get a definitive yes or no answer, because it's a brilliant tool to use to get the definitive answers for that. And I just want clarity on is what I've seen is what you're showing me. Is what I've heard what you want me to hear? Are you trying to tell me your story? And it's only since I've been doing it more and not ignoring it and putting my mental block there, which I did for many, many years, because it was just scary. It was unknown to me. I didn't know what was going on with me, and I knew things like that was it wasn't normal. And from a young age, you do get scared by it. And for years, I just blocked it out. But now that I'm doing it, I'm seeking further information, I feel that the pictures are more clear, the information I'm receiving is a lot more clear, which now it makes me want it more. It makes me want to seek more now. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely contributes a lot to my investigations. Like, I wouldn't claim to be a medium. I don't claim to be a psychic. I have been told by a psychic. Only because I don't know what it is that I've got and how strong it is or how strong it can be. So I wouldn't go and like offer a service where I would say that I'm a medium, but I've been told by a psychic that I do have a level of clairvoyance, but it's not a strong clairvoyant ability. But they said you've got to learn how to use it, but I'm still learning. I've been doing this now for a little over a year, where I've channeled all my energy into finding what I can find and zoning in on what it is that whatever gift it is that I have then.
That's how I've practiced it and gotten better and better and better. But I've had kind of the same background or past as you, where I used or saw or just like experienced things that I couldn't explain. And then though my parents were kind of like, oh, we shouldn't talk about that kind of stuff. People will think you're crazy. So I kind of blocked it or shut it off like you did and didn't pay attention. And then for some reason, things kept coming up in my life where I kept still having these weird experiences, even though I tried to block it out and tell it no and shut it off and deny it. And over the years, I guess more weird things have happened where finally, after so many things happened, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to open that door back up and I'm going to see what's in it and try to do it in a wholesome, protected way to try to figure out what what am I supposed to do with all of these experiences?
Yes, it is quite hard, isn't it, to get all of your thoughts together and realize what is real. And sometimes it happens so quick, isn't it? You just think to yourself, did I just see that? Did I just hear that? And that's the thing, isn't it? And it can be quite overwhelming sometimes, the information that you can receive or the images that you receive while using equipment or just doing a general call out and investigations. If you are inviting it in, so yeah, it's nice to speak to somebody who, such as yourself, who's dealt with the same thing along the lines as I have, because not a lot of them around you do 100%. Are really involved with it, and maybe understand that this isn't something that's happened randomly. It's occurred over time.
Yeah. Sometimes a lot of time, because the not being sure about what you're seeing or hearing, like you're saying, that's how I am. And that's how I try to go off on my own little journeys, I guess, sort of, just to like affirm that that's what I'm getting, because I'm not confident enough to be like, hey, I'm a psychic medium. Everybody come to me for all your answers. I'm not
Yeah,
like
that's
that either. Huh?
that's exactly what I'm like. And people have said, oh, she's not a psychic. She's never been psychic. And I've always said, I've never claimed to be one though. And I've never ever sat there and said that's what I do. Because even if the confidence was there, I don't feel that the ability would match that level. So I'm quite confident, and I do a lot. You know, I do readings, I do the tarot readings and things like that. And I do tarot card readings, and I interpret and the images that I get while touching a certain level of cards. I am getting better. But as far as me sitting there and be able to give clear insight, that's something that I'm not comfortable with. And I don't, that's not my main goal. I like it to assist with the paranormal and investigating side, but that's as far as I'd like it to go, you know, not the mediumship side.
Yeah, that's really my focus too. And I don't want to only be like, I did actually like put on, um, we're doing a big paranormal convention. And that's why I posted like the ticket info, because they put that in the comments. But I did put on the card, like announcing who I am. I think I did put medium on there, but also a lot of other things. And I'm not going to be doing medium work while I'm at the convention. Like
Yeah.
I'm there representing the show that I interview people for, like right now, and then I'm there representing the paranormal team that I'm a part of, that we do investigations with and stuff like that. Because I don't want to only be, I guess, and I'm not discrediting anyone that's a psychic medium at all. I don't want to only
No.
be seen as the psychic medium, I guess. I can't
Yeah.
give up the other stuff. I'm not willing to give up all the other stuff to just be a psychic medium, I guess.
No, that's exactly how I feel about it as well. So you're not on your own there.
Oh, someone's asking, where are you from?
I am from Swansea in South Wales.
And then we had a comment where Beth Allen, she actually works at Waverly. I'm not sure. Do you know Waverly Sanatorium? You know of it?
Yeah, yeah, I do know Waverley Sanatorium, yeah.
Yeah, Beth actually helps do the tours and stuff, and is part of the organization that when you go, you meet there and they tell you the history of the place or whatever. Beth is part of that, and she said, being with your para family makes everything more fun. The memories you make are just as important as the investigation.
It's definitely. I 100% agree with you, Beth, today. It is. You really need people you can count on to share your experiences, because those experiences, yeah, you are right, do form memories, and they are a part of your life. And the paranormal is not only like a hobby or something you do, which I know a lot of people around you do actually think that, but it's not for me. It's a part of my life, and I know that you will feel the same way about that as well. It becomes your para family is a part of your life. It's a big part of your life. Yeah, I totally understand. Agree with you on that.
Yeah, and those are the people that you basically are kind of trusting your life with. Once you get so deep into this like paranormal journey, you're basically trusting their life. Them with your life, kind of.
Yeah, it is, because anything can take a turn for the worst at any point. Especially if you're dealing with a lot of entities that aren't so friendly or malevolent in nature. And if you have someone being taken over, or you're feeling sick and you're feeling ill and nauseous, because that can happen, you need people who are gonna. There's been a few instances where people have fainted and they've been overwhelmed with anxiety. You need people to be your supportive crutch, and that is what forms the bond of your team. So yeah, you are right. Things can go terribly wrong, and that's what you need your team there. You need people who you can trust. Yeah, definitely. Yes. So was that Stephen? Yes, I am Welsh. Yeah.
The guy Jared, he follows your page. Do you know who Jared Roberts is?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that I do the podcast with on Comedy Pulse, and he's from Wales, but he has a different accent. It just sounds like an English accent, so he doesn't really sound like you when he talks. Like you sound
Yes,
Welsh.
I've been told I've got a really Welsh accent. It's really strong. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it though because my background is like Irish and Scottish, and it reminds me of quite a bit of an Irish accent.
Yeah. I love the American accent, I do though.
And Beth said she completely understands where we're coming from, that she hates labels, and we are so much more than one specific thing. I agree. And like I said, though, like I'm not discrediting. Huh? I had a question about, well, one of the things that you said is that you had investigated an asylum.
Yeah.
Can you tell, like, what it's called or whatever, like a little bit about the asylum?
Yeah, it was the Mid Wales Hospital. It's been abandoned since, I believe it must be 1990, but it officially shut down and closed though in 2000, in the year 2000. And we went there. We'd actually stayed at Shrewsbury Prison overnight, where I stayed in a cell. The footage is on my YouTube channel, and we stayed there to film, and so many things happened that aren't even on the footage. But when we left it in the morning, early hours, we were driving home. It was a good couple of hours as well. And I thought, let's just find, because I like to do a haunted one and an abandoned exploration video. So so the content can then differ. So that's basically what it is. And then we stopped off at the asylum, and I was just blown away by it. It was, even though it was in the middle of the day, it was by far the most creepiest place ever. And it was just, I had a lot of, I was very apprehensive about going in there. But we did go in there, but the idea was not to go in there and film for the paranormal aspect. It was purely just to go in there for abandoned exploration, have a little nose about, show the decay, show the history. Even though, and the same with all asylums that are abandoned, they do have a bit of a raft of deep history that is linked to a great deal of abuse and things, and with the lobotomies and things that took place there. So when we were walking around, you do have that feeling of anxiety, of dread, sometimes of deep sadness. I found that when I was in there, I was taking on the feelings of people who used to be there. And my moods were swinging from right, left and centre, to the point where I started to feel like I needed to take a bit of time out. And it was just really, and you know what I mean by that. And as we were walking there, we had gone home. I thought, you know what, we weren't even, because all our cameras were dead from the night before, because we'd been filming Shrewsbury Prison till gone 4 a.m. in the morning. We got to this asylum at about 11 o'clock in the day, so all our cameras were dead. The only thing I had on me was a phone, shoddy phone camera, and I thought, we'll go in there, we'll scope it out, we'll see where we need to go, so we can go home, review the footage, and then we know where we're going and where we're stepping in the night with our actual night vision camera. Because I thought that was the safest way to go about it, because it's so derelict. And we know where we're at footings, we know where we can access it, because it is private property. It's not like a run function where it's, you know, you're allowed to be on there. You're not allowed to be on there. So when you go in there, then we scouted about again. We uploaded the footage anyway, and I was thinking, I didn't really want to upload it. The camera was shoddy, and I reviewed it, and I just chucked it on, not thinking. A couple of months down the line, I had an Instagram follower message me and say, Kayleigh, have you seen what's in your footage? Who else is there? And I was just like, no one. It was only me and my partner, the team. And she said, only one partner of the team. I said, yes. And she said, look at this. And she showed me it. And I'm no word of a lie, my stomach just completely dropped. I felt sick, and I felt like crying a little bit because I just could not believe what the shoddy camera had picked up. And the footage, well, the footage did go viral. But I'm panning my phone, you know, and because from time to time, I'm not used to filming on a phone. I'm used to doing on a full spectral camera, isn't it? So from time to time, I would hold it like a phone. So every now and again, the camera would face the floor, which is dreadful. I put my hands up to the camera work is shoddy. But I have a credible reason as to why that is. And as it came, panned back up and moved, you could see what seemed to depict a woman with long black hair, no face, no facial features, just pure white, long black hair, in what looked like a long, dirty hospital gown. And she is standing there in the corridor, actually actively walking towards us. Now, the scary thing about... Exactly, but the scary thing about this footage is, which not a lot of people know about this, even though my camera was back and forth the rooms and there was only a glimpse to her walking in and standing there, I was actually actively looking down that corridor the whole time because I was actively walking towards to head out to the building. And I was walking towards her and I couldn't see her with the naked eye. So that's what, it gives me chills to think that she was standing in front of me and I could not see her. At what point would I have had to get so close? I would have been face to face with her and only my camera was going to be picking that up. It was terrifying.
What if she had tried to attack or attach to you?
That's the thing. And when the camera panned back over, you could see her leg from her dress and the dress moving, and she'd walked away. She'd exited to the right-hand side. So people are saying, oh, you know, that's fact, and then that part is fiction, or someone dressed up. And like I said, I swear down to it was only us there then, so that would not have happened. But it still shocks me now when I look back at the footage and I can't even look at it. I am so shocked. And we went there with we didn't take any equipment in with us. Because it wasn't meant to be that type of visual. So, and we weren't actively seeking it and looking for paranormal evidence. And the one time we're not looking for it is the one time that we catch it. It's such a solid figure. And in broad daylight, I'm still in shock by now, as you can tell. So,
and this was the asylum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if she was a mental patient.
Well, I had a name later on, and a lot of the patients were brought up from Swansea and the Brecon area. So they were all distributed there, and that's where they were kept. But obviously, the same as a lot of other mental asylums, it does have a war past where it was used as a war hospital as well. To treat members of the war. So again, it has the same level of history as any asylum anywhere in the world. And well, I've not seen anything quite like that anyway. I've never ever seen that footage, like anyone capture that on camera, like solid. She's quite a large, but I don't think she's large because her leg, when it was coming out of the frame, looked incredibly abnormally skinny. Like it didn't look right at all. And her face was white, but as the leg is coming out of the screen, it's pure black.
I would say
it's not a shadow. baffles me.
I think that she wasn't like a plain normal human spirit, and I'll send you a picture later, because what you're describing to me, our team went to a place where there had been known to be rituals done in witchcraft. Witchcraft rituals were done in this woods area, and they actually called it the Gates of Hell. That's what it's called. And in the photos, we were just doing a spirit box session. We had an obelisk, and it was telling us to leave. Whatever was telling us, a spirit there was telling us to leave, that there was bad stuff there, that it was evil, and we needed to leave now, and that there was, I don't remember if it said demons or if it said something else, or you had something weird going on.
Something always happens in this house. Carry on, it's all right.
One of the photos, when we went back and looked at them, had something that looks almost just like what you're describing in it. And it was out in the middle of the field where there was nothing anywhere, because someone said, "Oh, that's a weed." And I went back a couple days later to take a photo exactly where I thought it looked like a witch. I called her a witch. And where she showed up at, there was nothing there. You couldn't see anything there. And I took a photo during the daylight showing that there wasn't a weed or a tree or anything there. And you could tell it was the same spot. And it just showed up in a couple of the photos. And the ones before that had nothing, and the ones after that had nothing. And the fact that we had been in a place where supposedly there was witchcraft performed and we were being warned to leave, I feel like that she was some kind of witch or unnatural spirit.
Yeah, I definitely do think that if anything, she took on a form of what she thought would be. But like, I would think that it is over towards the female ward side of things, and the part where we were in, where she was seen, was in fact near the female ward. So it possibly could be an old patient, but I went back there. And I haven't put the footage up yet. I didn't spend very long there because there were people coming up with torches, and I don't like to be in a location like that where I don't know who else is approaching the buildings and the overall ground. So we didn't stay there very long. I'm still reviewing it now, but this footage was taken a good 2.5 months ago, roughly. And we're still walking through there within an hopes of finding something. I don't feel that we caught anything, but I'm going to upload it to see what the viewers are going to think, because they have a pretty sharp eye for things, and maybe through hours of editing and hours of looking at the same clip, sometimes you do miss things, and maybe that is possibly the viewers can pick up something that maybe I've missed, like they did with the viral footage of the asylum that we got. So they found that, not me, and I sat there for hours, and I'm thinking, how did you see this, and how did I miss this?
Yeah,
mind-boggling, really is.
It's kind of just crazy how you catch that stuff afterwards, but that's why you have evidence review, I guess. And then if you post it and people watch it, some people might have a different, like they might be gifted with, like a different sight than us or whatever. They might be gifted in just paying attention to detail and noticing something that we didn't notice because we were too busy doing while they were viewing. We're doing and they're viewing. So that's what's good about being able to post things live or to put them on social media and having a following of people that look at it and they're interested and they find stuff we don't see. About the dowsing rods, I was going to ask, I think I read that you use them on some investigations, but do you use them to do like, don't you do readings too, like tarot card readings?
No, I keep them separate from the tarot card reading. So I offer a spiritual reading session where I ask that person to think of 8 questions that they would like to ask their past loved one. But I would need to be in their home, like around their energy, and really sitting close to them to be able to get through to that loved one. I don't feel it needs strong energy, and the dowsing rods do take a lot of energy from spirit. I can definitely tell from using my rods whether I have a child spirit or an elder spirit, because children tend to want to play with them as well. So when they tend to, you ask them to cross for yes and outwards for no, and I ask them to clarify, like, are you use the rods and point them to the direction that you're standing in the room, and they will, but then they'll start doing all this business with the rods.
Yeah.
And I only get that from children. I never get that. So that's how I always know I'm speaking to a child. And I'll have random picture images where it'll be an age, a number for an age, or the first letter of a name. But recently, like I said previously, I've been getting full names, and I've got a couple of haunted dolls. I don't think you can see them on you, but in my background. And this is my paranormal space where I do my live sessions. All the energy is cultivated here. And then my tarot readings are on the other side of the room, and that's a separate space. I like to keep it separate because I do have a lot of haunted objects this side, and I don't really want to. Really, they shouldn't be in the same room, but they are. But they're on just separate sides of the room with cleansing over there.
Same thing. I do readings, but I don't like any haunted objects on the table, so I clear the space and I cleanse the space, and I have a desk where I do the readings. And then right now I'm actually putting a lot of my haunted objects in a storage, because I have so many that I don't know what to do with them, and I don't have anywhere to put it all. So I'm like, well, they're kind of like overtaking and hoarding with haunted objects, so I need to put them somewhere until I figure out like some shelving or something for them to organize them.
Yeah, I don't blame you. They do take over your life, don't they? Because I find that I got one haunted object, and then I started receiving haunted objects from people then to investigate, which I love. But they want me to keep them. They don't really want them back after I've investigated them. And I'm glad that they have a proud place to sit on my shelves, but things will move. Things around the room are moving now, whereas they weren't before. So I think it's either them getting settled or them getting restless. But I haven't even used my rods because I've been so busy to find out who's moving stuff, because either one of these objects are doing something. Definitely.
I saw some of your dolls and a clown, and I was going to ask some questions about them. I don't know if you take them down or not, or if you show them to people or whatever. But
yeah. If you want to see them, I'll show you them.
Yeah. Can you tell us about the clown?
Yeah, I'll show you the clown. See, he's all the way up here. He sits on the top shelf, nice and proud. I don't know whether... Yeah, I'll bring him down anyway, actually, because he's too far away. But basically, this was the clown that I bought. He'd had no haunted history with him as such. But, let me get in. This is the clown. I call him Haunted Jack. So there's him. He's quite a small little clown. But when he arrived... I had a shadow figure go past my front door, and I after a short few days, I kept hearing someone knock the front door quite loudly. But obviously, I was aware of the devil's knock, and I will not be answering the door to that. So as I turned to look out the window, there was nobody there. So then I knew someone's wanting to come in, and maybe the spirit is outside and now they want to get back into the vessel. I don't know. But I've done an investigation with Jack, which again is on my YouTube channel, the full one. But I haven't uncovered a name for her yet, because I thought it was a man, but it's not. It's a woman, and she died. She died in a motorcycle accident. So this is what I've uncovered with the dowsing rods from Jack. So, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the clown, and I was just kind of like interested. Like, you know how you're drawn to an object? Are you ever just drawn to something when you see it, a specific object or place? I just was like, what's up with this clown? He just kind of stood out or whatever. I guess probably because I have a lot of dolls, like 50, but I don't have a lot of clowns at all. So I only have one clown.
Yeah, the clown was my first one.
Yeah.
And since I had Jack, then I needed more. I wanted more dolls, but I wanted the more the baby doll style ones. So definitely got that. But the thing with haunted objects, like, I do cleanse them, and I have communicated with them. They are inhabited, but they are not inhabited in the way in which the description of the haunted doll as it was sold, I found out that, you know, they haven't died of influenza. They died from an accident. And I've been able to find that to determine through the K2 meter how high the readings are first. And then it will be the dowsing. But again, all this was done live. So some of them I do live on YouTube, but then some of them I did live on my Facebook group, which I got a Facebook page which you're on, and then I got the Facebook group which you've been on today now, I think, isn't it? So the group hosts all the lives then, but it'll be with the dolls are all on there mainly. And everyone, people love it, don't they? Like, it's lovely that we can have a community where you can join a group and you're not forced to watch anything. It doesn't randomly come up anyway. Only people who really enjoy that content are there. Which is what I love about the groups, really, and being able to monitor things closely.
Yeah, I started collecting dolls, I guess because I work at a place that's a donation place, and we get a lot of everything you can imagine comes in there. And there was a box, and it had like 8 dolls. They're all really pretty female dolls, and they're in different kinds of wedding gowns. And that was where I started. Yeah, they're really pretty, and I did a video, and everyone responded like a lot to them. So I just thought, and the next time I go somewhere and I see a lot of dolls, I'm going to check them out and see if I feel any energy from them. And I just went from there and kept collecting things. But the only super active things that I've had are a mask that came to that donation place, and it's a porcelain mask, and it looks like a devil. It has these raised up pointy eyebrows and horns, and it's green, and this weird mustache. Wow. And a doll, this one right here, actually got activity from her. And what's really weird is about this doll, the night before I got her, I had a dream, and it played out the next day. And in my dream, I went to the place where I do the work at the donation center. And I dreamed that I went there, and I dreamed I was working, and I dreamed someone dropped off a donation, and it came in, and I had this doll. So the next day, me and my daughter are there working with the other ladies we work with, and some trash bags were dropped off, and I heard a car playing really loud, like bass music outside, and they just dropped off these trash bags outside, right outside the door, and they left. So she brought the bags in, and she was going through them. And she said, "Mom, you're not going to guess what's in this bag." And I said, "Don't show me." And I said, "Is it a doll?" And she was like, "How did you know?" So, yeah, and then I brought that doll home, and the EMF detector went off with her. And there's not anything on her or electronic or anything that could make it go off. I don't know how to explain it. It was just weird. It was pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I love the K2 meter readings are brilliant, and they when they go off. I mean, some people they could be the skeptical side, but when they don't go off anyway in that same space, and then you bring in your object and then it goes off, that's evidence. I mean, people can argue with that all they want, but I'm convinced that that's a level of energy that it gives off, energy that should not be there. So even if it isn't that, and people want to say it's not linked, how else? Why would that energy be coming and radiating from that doll? And I think that it intrigues me every time. Yeah, I love the K2 meter energies coming from things.
Yeah, and I mean, there's not really any way you could make an object do that unless you stuck something inside of it, like took it apart and put something in there that would trigger that, and then close it back up. And then that's the only way you could really make that happen. Or if it had been sitting next to a big magnet, maybe. I don't even know if that would trigger it or not. And it became magnetic.
I wouldn't even know how to do it. Yeah, I wouldn't even know how people would do that. I wouldn't even enter my mind, to be honest, if it hasn't got energy. You know, some of the dolls now I could put a K2 meter to, and they probably wouldn't have nothing. But the dowsing rods and the information I've had from them, and the presence, and like I've had a lot of I don't know, like cigarette smells as soon as I walk into the room, and it's bizarre because nobody smokes, and if they did, they wouldn't dare smoke in the home. So it's very bizarre, but it's only in this room, see? And that's only started happening over the last couple of weeks. So, yeah.
The The boss of our Paranormal United Network said to tell you he sent you a friend request so you don't be like, who is this?
Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll accept it in a bit now. It's not a problem. Thank you.
Yeah, he's the boss of the Paranormal United Network. There's several different owners, but he's like the actual boss.
No, fine. That's brilliant. Fab.
I'm sure you get all kinds of dudes requesting. Or men or boys or whatever you want to call it.
I think that's normal in this day and age, isn't it? A lot of creeps usually. they're not
Or
worth even getting into that.
Sometimes even people that I don't even know if they're a guy or a girl because they have like a cartoon face on their page, and I'm like, I don't even know if this is a guy or a girl. I don't even know who it is. Is it real? Is it really a person or not?
Oh yeah, no, I don't do the avatar by faces. Yeah. I don't know. It's better to see who you're dealing with, I think. And I don't know. I mean, some people like it, don't they? Because not everybody probably has a level of confidence to put up a photo, and that's each to their own, really, isn't it? I mean, if they want to do that, that's fine. But I don't think I've ever done it. No.
Yeah, sometimes I'll look and see if they have a bunch of photos that they've posted beforehand. Like, I'll always investigate their page before I accept a friend request. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've got to do that these days. I know you've definitely got to do it. Definitely. Safety first. You never know where anyone is these days. Catfish out there.
No, and energetically, I've had some experiences where I've had energetic attacks on me doing this kind of work. That's why another reason that I don't say, hey, I'm a psychic medium, because I feel like I'm putting a beacon light out into the world, and I am asking for people to psychically attack me or something, because that's what happened at first when I started doing this. Is I didn't know any better, and I didn't know all of the ways to protect yourself against that kind of stuff or counteract that kind of stuff, and I had people coming to me asking for help. But somehow their energy became residual within myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. In and out the body, isn't it? Yeah, they can be quite. That's the thing, see, especially when, like you said, when you start investigating and start going to all these different places, you are, like you said, you are a beacon, you are the source. And if they stack and they need help and guidance, so they really need help getting to that light, even though I've never sussed out how to quite get them there, I have tried in numerous attempts. They'll gravitate towards you, won't they? And they'll attach as well. I've had a few attachments which have come home with me. Things have changed in the home, and then it's prompted an investigation of my home, which I've done, and then it comes out then that they have attached to me simply just driving from one place to another. So because of that, it's crazy. And I didn't even get out of the car one day, and I just knew I had a sharp pain in my back. I felt freezing cold, and I kept having images of a field all the time. And that was when I was driving, which can be quite dangerous. And again, this is what I mean. They're very intuitive, and the images that appear in your mind can be, it's like a daydream, but you're seeing everything, isn't it? And when you're driving, that's no good. So I knew something had happened, but I didn't know to what extent until I'd got home and a few weeks had passed, and the energy that has shifted in my home. I realised something's not right here. And then I contacted, and he told me that he needed help and that his body hadn't been found. So it went on from there then. But yeah, it's very strong, very, got to learn how to master shutting it off, haven't we? That's the big thing. It's all well and good having the gift, but shutting it off and learning how to control. I don't think it'll ever be fully controlled, but shutting it off for a bit is definitely something I've got to learn to master.
I think the only way to shut it off is to do the block, like you said, and like I was saying that we did before. The best way, or the closest you're going to come to shutting it off, is basically to blocking it all out and denying it.
Well, I mean, apart, like with some people who come on a ghost hunting events and things like that, And they will go, oh, it were in that, it was so and so. And I said, just before debunking it, because I will go and attempt to debunk, because in my opinion, you're not a real paranormal investigator if you don't go and attempt to debunk. Because in my opinion, if everything's paranormal, then you're just desperate. You are looking for that. You need to let things flow naturally if you really want that evidence and you want it to go the way that you probably want it to go. So debunking it, yes, fine. But shutting things down straight away, it can't be this because of this, shutting it down. And like the first thing everyone will want to do, if they can't understand something and they get scared, first thing anyone ever does is try to rationalize it. That's what I've come to realize. And like I said, sometimes you will replay that same scenario out, or you'll go back over there and do exactly what you did, but did it happen again? Did you still see that same mist form? You know, did you still see that shadow? Is it your shadow? You know, you try all these different techniques and it doesn't present itself again. So there you go. It's not being debunked. It is what it is. We saw it, we caught it, that's it. But I feel a lot of people will still go over there, and even though it won't present itself again, they will still be pretty much adamant that no, it was me that done that.
Yeah.
But you can't go in and stay with that. You need to be a little bit more relaxed with your mind frame, I would say to people that instantly go on that sort of defense with everything.
Yeah, they're kind of open to yes or no. Yeah. I've been in that frame of mind where I was like, no, that's not, because I at the time I lived by myself with my daughter, and some weird things happened that were scary. They scared me a lot, and I couldn't explain them, and I just completely denied them, but they kept happening, and I was like, something is trying to get my attention. So I actually just kind of yelled at it one day, and I was like, what do you want? What do you want? Why do you keep doing? And I had a baseball bat in my hand, and I don't know what I thought I was going to do with the baseball bat, because, I mean, if I can't see something, how am I going to hit it anyways, you know, with a baseball bat? But I got out of the shower, and I was in a towel, and I came in my room, and a laptop I had turned it off, shut it down, my laptop, and I had closed it, and it was sitting by my bed. Well, I heard a loud, scary growl, like loud growl, like almost like some of the rock bands that you hear play, and all they do is like rah, when you can't really tell what they're saying. They're just like a thrash metal band. And I was like, what is that?
Like screamos, basically.
Yeah, and I looked over and the laptop was on. Huh?
Yeah, I've heard a few guttural growls in my time. And they definitely are unsettling, aren't they? They do send a shiver down your spine. And the only thing that's associated with a growl, and I think that's why the stigma is there, is because it couldn't be anything other than demonic. So I don't see what a growl could be linked to other than a demonic presence, really, though. Unless, obviously, you debunk it and it is just, I don't know, a door creaking. I don't know.
I think that would probably cover most of them, but I'm still living in an area that's very heavily populated with people that believe in skinwalking and shape-shifting and like Native American beliefs. I live in like the heartland of Native Americans. I feel like some of it, like maybe a small percentage, could have to do with some kind of animal spirits or shape shifters or skinwalkers or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it could be. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, skinwalkers. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's a new one. I've only ever encountered one of them, and even to this day, me and my partner, the team, we didn't even know what was happening when it was happening when we seen one. But he had seen something, and he honestly thought that when we went up the end of the road to film for a Halloween special, and when we decided that we weren't getting really much from the area that we picked, we drove up this forestry road. It leads on to like a quarry area, which is basically derelict in the middle of nowhere, with just a road and a few forest trees behind located. And I stayed in the car, but the goal was I was going to get out of the car on my own, walk the road and film. While he stayed in the car so many meters behind and follow. That was the plan. So I stayed in the car, and as he got out of the car, he stood there and he froze. Now, I don't know what he saw at the time, so I'm looking at him thinking, well, am I okay to get out then? And he just looked at me, and then he just jumped back in the car and started driving. And I said, everything okay? He said, no. He said, I'm pretty sure I just seen someone in them bushes there. I said, well, what did you see? And he said, it looked like somebody had a phone and they were looking down at their phone, and it was like their face was glowing because it was so dark. If someone is in the forestry and they're on their phone, only that part lights up, doesn't it? Well, he told me this as he's slowly driving. So then I look into the side mirror on the passenger side as I'm sitting, and I look and I see what looks like what I automatically thought it was someone on a bike. And it was like their hands were like that, and all I could see was a head bobbing like that. So he was only driving around the 20-mile-per-hour mark at this point. So I thought, give and take, that could be possible. But then the more I'm looking at it, and then I'm looking at him, I don't think he's even checked his mirror at this time. And then he's sped up. Then I look back in the mirror, and he's now doing like 50 miles per hour. On this road. There was no need for him. Usually, if he speeds up like he did, I'm the first one to start shouting and I'm like, why are you driving like an idiot? And the first one to say it. But there was something so unsettling about the way that he put his foot down. The car was silent. I didn't say anything. So then when I look back in the side mirror, this thing, because I will call it a thing now, I will definitely not call it a person. It was still behind the car.
Oh, wow.
All I could see was this. Now, when I was still looking, all I could see was a bald head, and it was pure white, and it had no face. So there's me thinking this is person on a bike because his arms are like that, and I thought, and I'm still looking at it, and I've still not said nothing to my partner, and he still went from 50 miles per hour to 80 miles per hour. And again, I didn't breathe an absolute word to him, and neither did he say nothing to me. And then I knew something's off. Then as we got out of this space, then into more a public residential area, we started to calm down, I think, then. And then I looked at him and said, what did you just see? And he literally couldn't talk to me. He was so in shock. And he was like, well, I thought I saw a person. And it scared me. He said, and I don't know why he said, but I didn't look in my mirror, so I don't know what I didn't see anything. I just couldn't have. I had the feeling that I had to speed up. And I was like, and I said, well, didn't you think it was a bit strange that I didn't shout to you? And he said, yeah, I did. He said, but then the fact that you weren't shouting at me to slow down like you usually would if I'm messing about in the car scared me more. Because it just made me realise, he said, that I need to probably go faster then because something's not right here. And I didn't even tell him the time. I did not tell him the time I seen it. But when I look back in the mirror, for that thing to still be behind us at not only 50 miles per hour, but 80 miles per hour as well, that's not human. And I knew. And then I thought to myself, it wasn't on a bike, was it? Skinwalkers, if I was to give that as a clear one, they run, but their limbs are... So I'm thinking, is that what I saw? Someone throwing their arms and running. And it was Halloween night as well. And I think that was what... Nobody in this derelict area would be there. No one in the right mind would be there. But I said to him that it was so white. It was like a luminescent white. So maybe the glow that he said from the phone wasn't of a phone. Obviously, it was just the glow of whatever the hell this was.
Yeah.
So... It's proper creeped us out, and me and him, we still can't sit there and talk about it now. We both he gets really creeped out by it. And he said, I knew you'd seen something because you were so quiet. And I thought he had seen what I had seen, and that's why he kept speeding up, see?
Yeah, his internal alert system told him to speed up.
Definitely. Yeah. But they're not known around here. People will Google them, YouTube them, but then as far as I'm aware, skinwalkers are of a Native American descent from that spirit, isn't it? But that's what they say from what I've looked up on. And in this country, that wouldn't really be that wouldn't really be you. So I was there. It was only because I did research and I knew what they looked like. Well, like I said, I was just in complete shock. I really weren't expecting to see one of them in this country. Definitely not. And I do want to go back there, but I feel that, well, but it's a tracer store. Whenever I've seen other people's videos of them, and they do get close to them, they tend to run away though. So that's the only thing that concerned me, was that it was running after our car at, well, I just want to say like superhuman speed, because they are so fast. Whatever it was, even if it wasn't a skinwalker, it was definitely something that had no face. It was bald, it was very skinny. Yeah. Creepy.
I'm listening to you. I'm actually Googling something because that's in reference to what you're talking about. But I think that skinwalkers could be in other places. They would just be known as a lugaroo. Like in Romania, I think they're known as a lugaroo. That's the same thing. Or in other countries, a lycanthrope. And that's the same thing. Basically, it might have a little bit of difference depending on where it rooted from in that location. But I think that lugaroos, lycanthropes, and skinwalkers are very similar because they are something taking another form as an animalistic form at a certain time. I don't know, if it's just, when werewolves do it, it's supposed to be full moon or whatever. But I know
it was a full moon as well.
Was it?
It was a full moon. Do you know, that's so scary, because I literally was just about to tell you at the end of it that it was a full moon. And I think that's what added to. We went out. We actually did film that night, and the footage again is on the channel, and it's down as the Monks of Monastery Road. It was that night we filmed it, and the road that was heading up was the road that we followed to this quarry area. And like I said, we filmed a bit of Monastery Road. We weren't getting an awful lot, and we thought, well, what other haunted locations? And this pinpoint came up for this location, but with absolutely no history. And I thought, well, let's go up there. I was not expecting that, and I just thought it couldn't have been that. But then what else could it have been at that sort of speed,
Yeah.
Definitely scared us. It definitely scared me.
It could make sense if there's not a lot of history there, that it would probably be there if it didn't want to be seen. You know what I'm saying? If it didn't want humans to see it.
Out of all of the places that we could have stopped on this road, and there was like a turn in, a bit of another road going up onto another road, and we turned to come facing back down. And I said to him, like, out of all of the places you could have stopped for me to get out and walk the road on my own, we happened to pick one where something was lurking in trees. I think it's such a big, vast area, and it's in the middle of nowhere. But then that's where they're known to be, though, aren't they? The same as Skinwalker Ranch is so big and vast and in the middle of nowhere, and that's where they mainly are supposed to be there, aren't they? So
yeah, that's true. There's actually one of the girls that was in the comments earlier, Jennifer S. Lee. She lives by the Skinwalker Ranch.
Does she?
She's not still there right now, but like you and her should talk to each other probably, Jennifer S. Lee, because she probably has quite a bit of knowledge about skinwalkers. Yeah.
I find them fascinating, and I would love to actually catch one on film. And it was just happened to be that he only stepped out of the car, and well, that was enough, wasn't it? There was no way I was. But I suppose I was just frozen in shock, to be honest with you. And with him picking up speed, I was like, a part of me wanted to have a go at him, and then I was thinking, I just thought in my mind, he's obviously seen what I'm looking at, and it's not leaving our car. So it was still just behind the taillight of the car. It baffles me.
If you would have been recording, though, you probably would have dropped the camera and ran, and then he would have lost the camera.
Well, yeah, that's bad. There's definitely bad points to it, isn't it? No, whacking out the camera. Don't want to lose any more. No, definitely
Maybe you were just supposed to see it to be aware of it.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Because like you said, it was a big area. For you to
It
stumble
was.
upon that small area and that thing probably wasn't a coincidence. Maybe you guys were meant to see that.
Yeah, that's definitely right. I definitely do think if all of the signs point to that, then that's possibly what could have happened. I haven't heard of anyone seeing anything like that in this location before. So definitely, but like you said, a lot of them are undiscovered. So
Yeah.
maybe we were supposed to have discovered the fact that it does lurk in those areas. It's quite amazing. It's fascinating at the same time. Like.
Yeah, I think a lot of different beliefs and places and cultures have some kind of form of a skinwalker, whatever they call it. They probably all call it something different, and also maybe it's not as much seen is because it's supposed to be able to shape into another acceptable form, like a human form or something. You know what I mean? And then it shifts back and forth between the animal form and the human form so that it can't be detected. So,
Yeah, because I definitely, yeah, that makes sense actually, because when I reached 80 mile per hour and I looked back in my mirror and it was still there, as we took the bend and I looked back in the mirror, it was gone. And it wasn't as if it faded. Like if someone's running and they're getting slower and someone fades into the background. It wasn't like that had happened. It was like it just completely, it's gone. So maybe I did drop back into its wolf form, because that would have been lower and darker, wouldn't it? Or dog possibly, and then run off. Because it didn't fade, and it was so white looking and
yeah.
almost luminescent. And it was a clear night, and it was a full moon that night. I wonder, I'm going to look back at my monastery footage later and see if I can see the moon as well, and see where I definitely do think it was a full moon.
Was the luminescence of it like a white or a clear light, or was it like colored?
No, it was like a clear. It wasn't. You couldn't see through it. It was more like a pasty white color.
Okay.
But it had no face.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. I honestly thought at first it was just the top of the head. And if someone was riding a bike really fast and they had their head down like that, trying to gain speed, momentum, and all I could see was that. But then it wasn't until the 50 mile per hour mark did I look, and it was going like that the same time, and I could see
like it was running.
Not even holes like where the eyes should be. Like it was bizarre.
That is strange.
Cool. Yeah.
I was going to ask you about an art piece that you had posted that you had, I guess, in your home, and you looked up other pieces that were like it. I had a tarot card deck that kind of reminded me of that artwork, and I was going to ask you if you knew a lot about the JMW. I don't know how to say the last name, the person that did it, or where they were from, or.
Oh, are you referring to the art where she's holding a cat?
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. I don't know an awful lot about it. My dad was working on a house where he was doing a clearance because someone had passed away. And he came across it and thought that my mum would like it. So he brought it home instead of, chucking it in the skip and putting it at the tip. So he brought it home, and my mum really liked this art. It definitely spoke a lot to her. So she put it up in the house for a little bit. And then my dad started to get really uneasy feelings. And he didn't like the way that not only the cat's eyes would follow you wherever you went in the room, but he also said every now and again, the eyes of the woman looked like they're always up there, but they looked like they'd go like that every now and again. And he swears down that he said it's just the eyes. He said, I can't have it. So he put it in the back bedroom and upstairs in the spare room. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that it was on the wall, but behind where the door would be, so no one would really see it. And I was in there one day, cleaning, helping take some stuff up there. And as I turned the corner, I seen it, and it caught my eye, and I just had the feeling like I really want that. It fits in with the deco of my house. I like the creepy look of it, and I like all of that stuff. So I requested, oh, are you going to be using it then? And my mum said, oh, you can have that. It's been in the spare bedroom for over a good 2 years. So I said, right, yeah, no worries, I'll have it. So as I brought it home, I came across a written piece by a lady who had the same artwork as me. And there is a bit of a story behind it about the fact that her one, it said that there's a similar cat in a piece of artwork in a house in Ireland, and it is said that if you look at the cat, you become cursed. So,
oh wow,
yeah. So since the artwork has been in my house, I have seen shadows, more smaller shadows, though, not the tall usual ones that lurk around my home. And I know my home is pretty much haunted, but then I feel that I'm partly to blame for that as well. Because of what I do and where I go. But yeah, since I've had that artwork in the house, I did research the lady who done it, and I came across other pieces of art which I thought were absolutely fantastic.
yeah.
It's really lovely. It's enchanting. One of them with a candle in particular seems very spiritual. So that aspect I liked about the art. So I definitely will be acquiring more pieces for my home. But this piece in particular seems to have the same effect in a lot of other people's homes who actually have accommodated this piece as well. They also say that the cat sometimes looks like it's going to leap out like as well. They've seen him moving a lot. So I don't know. But I'd be keeping a close eye on it for sure.
Yeah, I thought it looked really neat. And there was a deck of tarot cards, and I got them from like Slovenia, I think is where they came from. I don't remember because I actually ended up selling them. But they had artwork that looked a lot like that on them. And when I saw that on your page, I was like, oh, that's really neat. It wasn't the same name of the artist that designed the tarot card deck that I had, but it was really similar. And I didn't really know if that was like where that idea of that kind of artwork came from. It was just kind of neat and unique too.
I love unique pieces, especially as they're all live sessions, and it's good to have a good engaging background with the viewers, and the viewers love it, and I really get them included in it when I'm selecting new artwork or selecting more pieces for the shelving and things around you. I love to get their feedback on things, or if they look at on my live, I will show them a new piece, and they will then tell me like what they feel or what they sense from it. And it's brilliant. It's great for getting the viewers included, and I love making a real good effort for them. And I think you're building your space, aren't you? So you need to feel comfortable. You need to make it separate. And I needed my tarot session side to be different, and the background drop for that. Everything is selected with care. And something that I feel that I have a personal connection with. Whether it be something simple as picking a background, I will take care in a lot of time debating on what to pick, definitely, because it makes you space.
Yeah, I have a weird painting, but I think it's like it's like a replica of a painting. That's an old woman, and she's just sitting up like this, and her hair is up, and she has like this Renaissance-looking dress on, and she's kind of turned sideways, but looking at you. And it's kind of one of those where it looks like everywhere you go that they're watching you.
Yeah.
And I bought that at a thrift store because I just couldn't live without it. I had to have it for some reason. I had to have it. It's kind of weird. I loved it.
I don't blame you. I like art. I do like unique, unusual art. Definitely. I don't know how my kids feel about it. They're more on the like, oh, I don't like art, man. And they will tell me like, but it's my house. I live here. I like it. I stay in.
And maybe if they think something's creepy or something and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. But they do like it. My daughters, they will come in here. The littlest one will want to touch the doll. She will hold her hands up and be like, baby, baby. She wants to touch them. So, I mean, because I've already investigated them and I already know who inhabits the vessel, I don't really mind you touching them, to be honest with you. Yeah. Obviously, if one of them was to be of a negative nature, I would be cleansing it, it would be off the property, and it would be taken care of, let's just put it that way. So again, I would investigate it first, obviously, in you. But that is what we do is an everyday risk anyway, isn't it? And you don't go into this sort of thing without to know it's a big added risk.
Mm-hmm. I think if you're not open-minded, that you're actually allowing yourself to possibly even have a negative outcome from what we do also. Like if you're not open-minded and you remain that skeptical person only, then you can't actually take in every chapter of the book or every aspect of what you need to know or need to learn or need to experience from doing this stuff if you're closed-minded.
No, I agree with you there. Yeah, that is right. I would definitely agree with you on that one. From time to time, this is why I say when people come to the events and things, and I like to give them advice, and I'm just saying, well, obviously some things, we do debunk to an extent, but you haven't come to a ghost hunting event to just do debunking. You got to come here with an open mindset as well, because this is what we do. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that side of things.
I had another question I had written down because we only have about 10 minutes left, and I want to make sure that you're able to give information about where people can find you and stuff. But I also had a question. There was a picture that it was posted, and it was Jack the doll. He was in a enclosed glass case.
Yes.
Where was that at? And what's a little bit of the story behind him?
So that isn't actually that wasn't my doll in particular. That was just a friend who had him. She wanted to sell him. She wanted to know if I was interested in buying him. And well, I weren't interested in buying him because he had a lot of negative tendencies linked to him, because I know the backstory. But I do believe that she did sell him. She sold him to Zach from Ghost Hunters, Ghost Hunter Adventure. She did sell him to him. He wanted it. So I'm glad she sold him in the end. But yeah, the reason it was on there was because I was helping a friend out to try and get someone to buy him, really, to have him. But yeah, I definitely wanted to help out. But she did sell him, but I did not want that one.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't know where he was from. Yeah. Sometimes
I'm glad he's got him, because he's going in his in Vegas. He's got his haunted museum, isn't he? And he will have a pride place there. So he will have his own little section in the Las Vegas
a resting museum. Place or a home. Yeah, and then I had another question too. I saw a photo, and I don't know if you had been there or you were just wanting to go there, but have you been to the Clown Motel?
I haven't. I have not been to America as of yet to do any of that. I've had a lot of people reach out and say, are you going to come over, especially with Waverly Hills as well? And is it Hillview Manor? So Hillview Manor is also one that people have requested that I come out and join them there. Mm-hmm. So yes, but the Clown Motel, the owner of the Haunted Clown Motel messaged me, and he sent me a message saying, we would love to have you, please consider coming out. You are more than welcome here to do my investigation. So obviously that's in Tonopah, isn't it? And it's got the cemetery next to it, I believe. Yeah, from what I've watched on other people, it's in Tonopah, and it's got the cemetery, and that is definitely somewhere where I want to go, not only for the Clown Motel, which is notoriously known for its activity, but also the cemetery that a lot of people lost their lives from as well, including a lot of children, sadly. But yes, no, I definitely, if I was going to pick anywhere, I do definitely want to go to Stanley. That's on my list of places to go in Colorado. every single year we are on about, oh, we need to go. It will eventually get done.
Yeah,
I
haven't been there either. That's all I was
You haven't
asking.
been there either, have you?
No,
All
I
right.
really want to go, and I was going to ask you to tell me about it.
Oh, no, I've not been there. I would love to go, though. It's definitely on my bucket list of things to do, and I'm definitely going to make my way out to America to go to a few places, especially being the Queen Mary. I would love to go to the Queen Mary, yeah, and stay on the ship, and definitely do a thorough investigation of B340, and definitely go there, because the footage I've seen of that is absolutely outstanding. And like I said, I support a lot of YouTubers, so yeah, definitely got to go to some places.
So one of the guys, he said, so is Zach hoarding all the haunted items?
Yes, Zach is. That's right. Yeah, Zach is hoarding all of the haunted items. Every single haunted item I've come across, he wants them. So you can't blame him. He's got a pretty big space in Vegas in the museum to keep them, which I 100%, well, don't blame him at all. Fair play to him.
Yeah, I said he's creating a portal.
I think there possibly will be more than one portal in Zach's museum, for sure. I think it's just the thing is, all these haunted objects need a place. So if they're not with me and they're not with you, they can go there and they can be happy there. I think it's great, I do. If I could have my own museum, I'd do it, definitely.
Yeah, I think I've heard stories. Jason, the guy that usually does the show with me, he's been there, and he said that you could feel some really weird energies there, and they make you sign a waiver saying that they're not responsible. Once you go in, you're there at your own risk to go into there with all those haunted objects. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is a you can sign something, and it will tell you again that you are going in, you're attending this haunted museum at your own risk. They obviously, especially the doll room and things like that. So yeah, I would love to go there, but again, I think that with the people, if it was just average people going in there and doing it, that don't dabble in the paranormal, and let's just say that, then you would be more hesitant towards the risk going in there. But because of what we do, we already dabble with the risk element anyway. So for me, would I take that extra risk? Yeah, probably I would, because the curiosity would get the better of me. And I bet it does a lot of people that have attended there, for sure.
Fixing to delete some more. Oh, my daughter's calling me. Well, I wanted to. We have 2 minutes left. Can you tell all of your social media outlets where people can find you at and see your content and your live footage and your investigations and stuff?
Yeah, that's no problem. So I am on Instagram at Love to Investigate. My Facebook group then is Love to Investigate Paranormal Investigations, and that is on there. And my YouTube channel is also Love to Investigate, where you can see all my upcoming content. The majority of my live sessions are held on the Facebook group page, so that is definitely one to find. That is a group, but I also have a Love to Investigate page. Anyone that goes on there, I will try and put up a new link for the group so that you can have access to it, because I do feel that the page has a lot more attention than the group, because the page is easier to find. So if you just go on there and leave a little comment or a post saying that you want to be invited into the group, because you do have to be invited or accepted into that, and you're going to answer a couple of questions. But yeah, they are where you can find me if you want to see any of the haunting paranormal content that we deliver.
And your merchandise, where's it at?
Yeah, my merchandise is the Drop Dead Love collection, and that is on T-Mill store. If you type in Drop Dead Love, you will see that. Also, there are a lot of links on all of the social media accounts I've listed now, where you can also find the link for the T-Mill store, and that is that then by me, Kayleigh Love.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw some of your merchandise. And I like it. It's pretty cool.
Do
It's like
it. Well, good.
I like the design that's on it. So, I'm really glad that we still were able to do this interview, even though Jason was kind of sad he wasn't going to be able to be on it. And maybe like in the future, some other time, he can be available. Like after you've done several more locations and you have like more stories to tell or whatever, maybe he can
Yeah.
be part and we can interview you again or something like that.
Yeah, that's completely fine with me. I absolutely love doing these interviews. I love doing them, so that's not a problem. You just let me know and I do my availability and we can set up a new schedule for a new one where Jason can then be on it. That's not an issue
Yeah,
at all. But
because
thank you
he
so much for
messaged
having me
me.
on here. Yeah.
He was like, I'm not going to be able to be on there because I'm at work. And I said, I'm sorry. I still wanted to interview her. But I promise tonight we'll still have our show and you can still be on there. I wanted to go ahead and interview you anyways to pick your brain and see what all kinds of stuff you had to say. So
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, whenever you want to do that, that's fine. Obviously, yeah, in a couple of 2-3 months time, I would have been to a lot more locations, and I would have had a lot more experiences to share with you and the viewers, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? We all learn new
yeah.
things through this experience. So, thank you so much for having me on and working around my timings here in Wales. So, thank you so much for that. I
So you
deeply
have
appreciate it a
kiddos.
lot. I
Yeah, I didn't
know
want
the
your kids to
windows.
not be able to sleep tonight. So thank you for being on. And you'll probably get a couple of friend requests from people on Paranormal United Network and requests to follow your page. I think I sent one to follow the Love to Investigate page and stuff like that. So I could keep up with all the stuff that you guys do or whatever. But thank you for
Yeah.
being on.
Thank you so much. And right, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
Everyone said, great show, guys, ladies. So yeah, we'll have you on again sometime probably in the future. Thank you.